trying to be original is actually the fastest way to get stuck in life. I say that because I wasted years of my time trying to reinvent the wheel, since I thought I had to be new just to be valued. But the truth that nobody wants to admit is that almost everything we admire in this world, it's really just a remix of things that came before it. Once you finally accept that reality and stop putting so much pressure on yourself to be a revolutionary, you can start making real progress in your health, your career, your happiness, and basically whatever it is you're working on. I didn't always believe that statement, and I actually spent a long time being a victim of my own expectations until a few nights ago. I went to go watch this movie called Marty Supreme, which, for anybody that doesn't know, it's the ping pong movie that, the promos have been blasting all over your TikTok and Instagram feeds. It was part falling into the promo, and also I just wanted to spend some time with my friends because I haven't seen them in a while, so it was nice to go back. The movie starts, and if you have seen the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, then spoiler alert. The intro credit is basically this scene where a bunch of sperm cells go flying through and eventually break into the egg. Then the egg transitions into this ping pong ball, and the credit rolls, and overall I think it's an inside joke to like ball is life, because like ping pong ball, life, ball is life. I think that's where they were trying to go. So yeah, and the writers definitely planned on it being like an intro hook, something of shock value. But besides the intro being interesting, the other thought that came into my mind was, where have I seen this before? Because I know for a fact that I've seen this somewhere. After the movie, I asked my friend, who's basically like a movie wizard, he didn't even catch the intro being a one-to-one copy of something else. And so the point that I'm trying to get across to you is nothing we see today is actually original, because everything is just inspired by something else. Now, that sounds like a simple observation for a movie, but for me, it was big food for thought, because I realized this originality trap is the exact thing that stops us from like moving forward. We get so scared of being repetitive or looking like everyone else that we freeze up. If we aren't coming up with a brand new way to live or a brand new way to work, we're not doing it right. Personally, for me, I can watch 20 videos about the same subject today and find 20 more tomorrow about the same thing. What's funny is that a lot of the information that's going to be in these videos, it's just content that's being repeated and recycled over and over again. They all have the same sources, they all talk about the same thing, they all have the same opinions. So honestly, we don't need things to be new. And I think there's a lot of habits in our lives that prove that. Looking back, I learned this lesson the hard way when I was much younger. And like with everybody, I had a SoundCloud rapper phase. Trust me, everybody has one. And for me, I was obsessed with writing every day. I remember when I would have the chance, I would crack open a notebook. You know what, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. That is crazy. That's crazy. Just to show you I'm not lying to you, look at the date on this. That's 2013. There we go. It says July 2013. This is ancient, man. But yeah, whenever I had the chance, I would crack open this notebook or find a piece of scrap paper and just try to write something. It could have been 8 bars, it could have been 16, a little rhyme scheme here or there. And this was the first time in my life where I found something that allowed me to express myself. Imagine going more than a decade not knowing how to express things, not knowing how to say how you feel. And now I'm writing these songs and verses, and it was a true outlet to say what was on my mind. It felt like an endless tank of ideas. That was only because everything about that experience was so new and fresh. Eventually, this notebook filled out, and I would be inspired to release a little project that's probably within the depths of DatPiff somewhere, if the site is still running, but please don't look it up. Eventually, life gets in the way, and when life gets in the way, it slows everything down. So life started slowing down, and what started off as infinity bank of past experiences and past perspectives and opinions, it started to dry up around the time when the world shut down, right? And I was stuck indoors for 2 years with nothing new happening. I remember sitting down, trying to write, and getting frustrated because I'm in a room that hasn't changed in months. I thought I was failing because I was not being creative and not coming up with something new. That kind of became the beginning of the end for music in general. Like, I started making excuses. I told myself that I would do it tomorrow when I felt more inspired. But tomorrow never really came. Or maybe I would tell myself that I would disconnect, like what Kanye does or what Bon Iver does, where they go out into the world and then they come back with a masterpiece. But the truth is, I was running away from the actual work. I was doing the same thing over and over, watching the same tutorials on songwriting, watching the same interviews on songwriting, and I was trying to force this new version of myself using the exact same old habits that weren't working. That was a destructive cycle. I was making everything harder than it needed to be. And the truth is, you don't have to recreate the wheel to make progress. For example, if you want to lose weight, what do? You go to the gym, you eat clean, you eat correctly. You don't need to try this new crash diet, workout split, or what if you're broke? What are you going to do to make money? You got to find a good old job, right? You're not going to find the next $1 million loophole or come up with the next online business, right? The chances are low, but really high that you're going to make money from working a 9 to 5. We often use like seeking originality as an excuse to avoid doing the boring, repetitive work, the literal reps. We want to feel special, and so we end up ignoring the basics. But it's those basics, those repetitive things, where the results are. There's a quote often linked to Picasso. It says, "Good artists copy and great artists steal." I want to add a third part to that. Either way, an artist is going to make something. Boom. Original quote for me. That is the advice that I wish somebody really tried to get me to believe, because if I followed this advice, right, sometimes I wonder how much more I would have written. Right? I honestly spent too much time thinking about this new method that I forgot the point was just to express myself and see where it went. This is video number 2, and my goal is to hit 100 videos to prove to myself that commitment and staying the course matters more than being unique or revolutionary. And I'm going to use stories from my past. I'm going to continue using this story, and I'm going to repeat myself a lot, and it's going to be fine, because even though I say parts of the same story over and over again, I try to find something small that I can share with you. I hope you get some new perspective or just enjoy the tidbits that I come up with. Again, we're all just building on whatever came before us, and I hope I get to build on what came before me. I hope this helps you out, and yeah, I'll see you later.